Sever essentially means as it's always been.
People I feel most sorry about are the trolls who their hopes are just built and built and built, and it's like, yes, 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 and then it doesn't happen.
And if you followed me since 2014 with the TIG, you know I've always loved cooking and crafting and gardening.
Today, Harry and Meghan torched what little was left of their relationship with the royal family and what little was left, frankly, of their own reputations.
It's so weird, and it's just like there's music playing over it. It just is so bizarre. There's nothing deeper to this. It was an entirely pointless exercise.
So it's no surprise to people who work at Buckingham Palace. They saw and witnessed all this here.
When is Meghan Markle going to file an invasion of privacy lawsuit against this woman, or is the lawsuit only for her own father?
Now, you'll be thrilled to know that Meghan, who is our favourite person, has shared a never-before-seen clip from her Netflix show.
It is literally the exact same type of scenario. What's different here? Oh, wait, yes, this one is a publicity stunt.
This also follows all the stories about her bullying staff over here in the UK.
The dysfunctional Duchess who she says she runs businesses, the woman couldn't run a bath.
Which is unresolved. NDAs stopped all that stuff coming out, but she bullied people in a very unpleasant way over here.
They moved from England to get away from the scrutiny of the press, and all they do is try to get in the press in the United States.
Inevitable divorce will be a hellish car crash in slow motion for Prince Harry.
Viewer discretion is advised. This clip contains weapons-grade hypocrisy.
Oh, honey, you thought no eye contact was the peak of royal awkwardness? Buckle up, because that little rule was just the tip of the iceberg in what staff are now calling the royal list of diva demands. We're talking rules so specific, so bizarre, so jaw-droppingly extra that even longtime palace employees were whispering behind closed doors like it was an episode of The Crown, Unhinged edition. Word is, Meghan and Harry weren't just playing the royal game, they were rewriting the script with a Hollywood twist. Forget centuries-older protocol. This was celebrity spa vibes meets royal halls. One former palace insider spilled the tea. It felt like we were working on a film set, not serving royalty. And baby, it wasn't just about how you looked at them, it was about everything. What time you walked, what you wore, what you drank, what you didn't say. It wasn't royal service anymore. It was Meghan and Harry's personal brand retreat. Staff say the transformation was so intense, so relentless, that by the end, they couldn't tell if they were in Buckingham or backstage at Coachella.
Now that mansion is worth $20 million. That'll be divided down the middle, if Harry's lucky. By the way, then there are the security liabilities for the foreseeable future. Now, their security costs are estimated to be $3 million a year.
Now, let's talk about that infamous hush-hush, do not disturb system. Apparently, Meghan and Harry created an actual secret signal system. Bells, lights, silent flashes, like something out of a spy movie. The moment that light flicked on, it meant one thing: back off. One palace insider called it a fortress mentality, like they were building their own private kingdom within the crown's own walls. No one was allowed to knock, to speak, to breathe unless the signal gave the green light. And no, darling, this wasn't just a preference. It was enforced like a military protocol. Need a juice bar flown in across the country? Done. Personal sushi chefs delivered on a silver platter across time zones? Consider it served. The list of requests wasn't cute. It was legendary. Staffers say it felt less like they were catering to royalty and more like managing a rock star's dressing room.
It was showing us actually working with her beehives. I could see that, but this was just useless.
And so is that a good thing for you in a way that there's so much interest in you?
No, there's definitely not a good thing.
And that's where the real drama started bubbling. Because people inside the palace, those who'd served queens and kings no less, were whispering the unthinkable. This feels like a celebrity takeover. Staff were no longer keepers of ancient royal rituals. They were glorified wellness assistants, spiritual guides, and oh yeah, pajama-wearing butlers. Yes, pajamas. We'll get to that. But first, can we talk about the vibe shift? No more gentle tea time conversations, no more traditional morning routines. Staff say even small talk became forbidden territory unless initiated by the royal couple themselves. Can you imagine standing beside someone for hours and not being allowed to say anything unless they speak first? It was like working for royalty in a monastery or a reality show. Matching staff pajamas? Yep, that happened. Organic breakfast flown in from God knows where? Oh, absolutely. It was royalty meets wellness cult. And even senior royals reportedly side-eyeing the whole ordeal.
Meghan hasn't chosen to ditch private jet flights. She simply can't afford it at the moment, can she? She doesn't have enough mugs who are prepared to waste all that money.
Picture this. 1 minute you're serving roast duck under a chandelier older than the United States. The next you're setting out acai bowls and crystal-infused turmeric shots under the same ceiling. It was Buckingham meets Malibu, baby. An ex-butler even joked, "We've gone from throne to spa, throne," and don't get it twisted. This wasn't just royal quirkiness. According to Palace Whispers, this whole transformation wasn't just about yoga and juice. It was about Meghan and Harry quietly asserting a new hierarchy, a soft revolution wrapped in silk robes and beetroot smoothies. So what was really on that royal demand list? Buckle up, because we're unpacking every single ridiculous, controversial, unbelievable rule one by one after every one. 2 rules, 1 by single, 2 rules. At the end of the rules, 6 went to Holland playing his role of King Alex while drinking too much. Another rule is to walk the talk while watching warm cameras. So what was really on that royal demand list? Buckle up, because we're unpacking every single ridiculous, controversial, unbelievable rule one by one, and we start right here with that blinking light of doom, the do not disturb code.
She has many times utilized her friends in order to leverage their private jets. I feel like that's half of her friendships are, do you have a private jet or not? Oh, great, I'm your best friend now.
Now imagine this. You're a palace attendant walking down the corridor with a tray of fine china when suddenly the light flickers. And that's your cue. Get out, no knocking, no announcing yourself like in the old days. Just a silent, glowing cue that screamed, "You're not welcome right now." This wasn't tradition, it was tech-savvy drama. It felt like working in a resort with a red velvet rope, one former attendant reportedly told a friend, only the red rope was invisible and lit up when you got too close. Another staffer was even more blunt. "We felt like intruders. We weren't guests in a home, we were ghosts until they needed us." And it wasn't just about creating space, it was about control. Who got to speak, who got to enter, who got to breathe near the Sussexes. It was royal service by invitation only.
And I'm sure even though she might have complimented the flight attendant, given her a quote-unquote sweet note, I'm sure the entire time Meghan was thinking, oh gosh, I hate every single second.
The stress, insane. Staff say they walked on eggshells. It was like we were living under a red light, one butler allegedly confided. Every corridor, every room, every second, wondering if we'd be snapped at for stepping in. Some staff tried to empathize. They understood the pressure Harry and Meghan were under. But others felt insulted, as if their decades of service were suddenly irrelevant, as if their years of royal loyalty could be flipped off like a light switch. And that, darling, sparked the beginning of the palace rebellion. Oh yes, staffers started fighting back. Not with megaphones or placards, but with side eyes, hesitant questions, and silent refusals to play along. You see, the palace was starting to split between old school loyalty and new school celebrity demands, and the cracks were showing.
Of being served by just somebody who serves anybody in first class. You know, I'm the Duchess of Sussex. That's 100% Meghan's thought process.
Ready for your next sip of royal juice? Because now we're diving into the juice bar obsession. According to insiders, Meghan and Harry demanded fresh juice bars every single day. And not just anywhere. They had to be prepped and served at every residence they were in. We're talking daily deliveries, organic produce flown in, staff rushing to prepare cold-pressed turmeric shots like Buckingham was suddenly Goop headquarters. It was like we'd gone from serving state dinners to running a wellness cafe, one source claimed. Imagine silver-plated trays replaced by mason jars with green blends. The royal pantry stacked with ginger, kale, beetroot. Ingredients Meghan allegedly demanded be sourced from specific wellness suppliers. And yes, it wasn't just a request, it was a full-time job.
So Harry will be on the hook for the security of himself, obviously, his children, and he'll be paying for Meghan Markle's security long after they have parted ways.
Now, you'd think the juice thing was a one-off, but no, sweetheart, it was just the start. Staff say they were up at 4 a.m. tracking down exotic fruits and rushing them to the palace. Orders had to be precise, not just green juice, but the right kind of beetroot, the perfect slice of lemon, the specific almond milk brand. It became a show, said one former staffer. Every breakfast was a performance, and the script kept changing. And just when they'd get the juice order right, another curveball. Sushi. Not just any sushi, flown-in sushi, personal chef level. Are you screaming yet? Because staff definitely were.
Two sources say a colleague with ties to Archetypes, her podcast, took a leave of absence after working on 3 episodes, then left Gimlet, the podcast producer, altogether.
Imagine the palace hallways echoing with the footsteps of a flown-in sushi chef. Staff say Meghan and Harry demanded Japanese chefs chartered in just to make their dinner feel fresh and authentic. Meanwhile, London has some of the best sushi chefs in the world. It felt like Nobu with corgis, one source allegedly joked, but behind the laughter, exhaustion, resentment, confusion, because this wasn't just food, it was a message. Their taste, their lifestyle, their needs. Above all else, it was like we were serving a brand, said a footman, not a monarchy. A curated image. And baby, the palace didn't know what hit it.
Several others described taking extended breaks from work to escape scrutiny, meaning from her, exiting their job or undergoing long-term therapy after working with Meghan.
So just when the staff thought they'd finally digested the sushi scandal, boom, Pajamagate happened. And oh baby, this was a plot twist nobody saw coming. Rumor has it, Meghan and Harry allegedly wanted their overnight staff, yes, the actual palace employees, to wear matching pajamas. Not just comfy loungewear, coordinated, color-coded, sleepover chic in Buckingham freaking Palace. Can you even imagine? Centuries of royal formality turned into a Victoria's Secret slumber party? One former chambermaid couldn't help but laugh when she spilled, "It was like a pajama party at the palace. We were expecting a tiara moment, not flannel sets." But honey, others weren't laughing. They were livid. Matching pajamas? Really? These were seasoned professionals who'd spent decades perfecting the art of royal etiquette, now being told to swap their uniforms for bedtime cosplay? One longtime staffer reportedly sighed, "We felt like props in someone else's fantasy." Ouch.
Nobody set out to destroy you. You destroyed yourselves in this country with your ludicrous, hypocritical behaviour. Truth be told, what you just said is complete and utter garbage.
And that was the moment, the straw that broke the silver-plated camel's back. We'd always known this was a household of service, said one ex-footman, but it suddenly felt like a costume party at our ex. According to whispers in the royal halls, the backlash was immediate. Some staff just flat out refused. Others gritted their teeth and went along for a while until the sleepwear situation turned into a nightly humiliation. "We weren't here for Instagram aesthetics," a maid allegedly snapped to a colleague. "We were here for tradition, for dignity, for history." But darling, the pajama drama wasn't even the grand finale, because just when everyone thought the nightwear nightmare was the wildest request yet, Meghan took it up a notch. She brought in the yoga mats. And that's when the palace turned into a full-blown wellness retreat. According to stunned insiders, entire palace suites were cleared out so Meghan could have space for her yoga practice. Furniture moved, chandeliers twinkling above downward dogs, priceless rugs rolled up and shoved aside for aromatherapy candles and yoga blocks.
No, the world's biggest victims right now are the Duke and Duchess of Netflix, and don't take my word for it.
A former butler even confessed it felt like Buckingham had transformed into a Lululemon pop-up shop. Like, imagine Queen Victoria rolling in her grave while warrior pose is being held under a 300-year-old oil painting. "We'd be prepping for formal dinner," said one bewildered footman, and then bam, incense lit, room flipped, and we're in yoga studio mode. No warning, no time to adjust, just total chaos. And Meghan didn't just roll out a mat and vibe. No. Staff had to learn every pose, every breathing ritual, not because they were doing yoga, but because they had to assist the routine without disrupting it. "We were expected to understand the difference between a half-moon pose and a crow stand," said one staffer. "We weren't helping royalty anymore. We were background extras in a wellness documentary. And let's be real, this wasn't about yoga. It was about control, about reshaping royal life to fit their image, one scented candle at a time. And baby, the control didn't stop at incense and matching flannels, because the next rule, the one that silenced the palace, that one hit different."
This promise, once you're married, don't worry, it'll get better. Once they get used to you, it'll get better. Of course it'll get better.
Enter silent service, a rule that chilled everyone to the bone. Allegedly, Meghan and Harry banned all small talk. Yep, palace staff, who had always shared warm good mornings, kind questions, and respectful dialogue, were suddenly, if you didn't get spoken to first, you were expected to stay silent. It wasn't just awkward, it was oppressive. It felt like working in a haunted library, one staffer said, only the books were alive and watching you. No more casual weather talk. No polite smiles, nothing, just silence. And it didn't stop there. Insiders revealed that during high-profile events, especially ones involving VIP guests, phones were confiscated. Yep, staffers had to hand over their personal phones. Why? Control, one source said. Total control of the narrative. No pics, no recordings, no leaks. But staff didn't feel protected, they felt suspected. It was like they thought we were all spies, an ex-maid allegedly confessed. We weren't trusted anymore. We were treated like liability. Yes, you read that right. Airlifted. Organic. Breakfast. Stay tuned, because the next part of this emotional roller coaster reveals how a simple smoothie bowl nearly broke royal tradition for good. Now brace yourself, because if you thought the juice bar was wild and the sushi chef scandal was next level, then this next part, it's giving royal fever dream. We're talking organic breakfast airlifts. Yes, flown in, like medical supplies. Only this time, it was for chia bowls and papayas. Multiple insiders claim Meghan and Harry's obsession with wellness didn't stop with juices or yoga mats. Nope. Every single breakfast had to meet the highest standards of organic, vegan, gluten-free, macrobiotic, California certified fabulousness. And don't get it twisted, it wasn't one time. This became the new routine, the expectation, the daily, ultra-premium, ultra-costly wellness wave that drenched the palace. But the real tea? The staff had enough. Sources say that's when the whispers turned into something darker. The staff revolt. You see? Palace staff are trained for precision, for loyalty, for honor. But dragon fruit at midnight? Pajamas on cue? Yoga mats in staterooms? Girl, no. One insider said the first real rebellion sparked over those infamous matching pajamas. For some, it was the line they refused to cross. This wasn't just a departure, it was a palace coup in Kashmir. And whether you believe every rumor or think it's royal revenge gossip at its finest, one thing's for sure, Meghan and Harry changed the game. Forever. So what do you think? Were they right to demand their space, their peace, their almond milk legacy? Or did they quietly dismantle one of the oldest institutions in the world, one juice cleanse at a time? Drop your take below, because honey, this drama is far from over, and trust me, the next video on your screen, you won't believe what's coming next.